Hello, my name is Aaron Sasaki, and this is my systems job project. There are two questions that we had to answer this time. The first question was, for what values of k will the graphs of the following equations intersect in quadrant 3? We were given two equations. The first one was y equals kx plus 14. The second equation was y equals x plus 28. Step 1 is to find out the x and y intercept, because without the x and y intercept, you can't graph the equation to know what k equals. To find the x-intercept, I substituted y with 0 to get x equals negative 28. To find the y-intercept, I did the same thing, just that I substituted x with 0, not y with 0, to get y equals 28. Step number 2 is to plot the x-intercept. K is the number multiplied with x in order to make the two lines intersect. So I substituted x with negative 28 and y with 0 to get 0.5 equals k. Step 3 is to graph the equations on the graph, and you can see that the points intersect at, or the two lines intersect at negative 28, 0, and that is in the quadrant 3. Step number 4 is to check. I did two checks. The first one is to check to make sure k is less than 1, because if k is greater than 1, x will be a positive number, and when x is a positive number, the two lines don't intersect at inside quadrant 3. So for this, I used k equals 2, and I found out that x equals 14, and that's a positive number, so you can know that the two lines won't intersect in the quadrant 3. So the second check that I did was to make sure that k is greater than 0.5, because if k is not less than 0.5, the same thing, the two lines will intersect at quadrant 3. For this, I used k equals 0.2, and I got x equals negative 17.5, and you know that the lines will intersect in quadrant 3. So I found out that the answer to question 1 is k is less than 1 and k is greater than 0.5. The second question was, a carpenter goes to a hardware store to buy a number of pounds of his favorite nails. At one store, they are 9 cents a pound, but when he tries to buy them, he is $7.15 short. He goes to another hardware store, and there they are 6 cents a pound, and when he buys them, he has $2.45 left over. How many pounds of nails is he trying to buy? Step number 1 is to find out the equation for each store. X is the pound of nails he wanted to buy, and y is the amount of money he has. So for the first store, I put in I made an equation y equals 0.09, x equals negative 7.15. For the second store, I came up with an equation of y equals negative 0.06, x equals 2.45. Step number 2 is to find out the pound of nails you wanted to buy, which is basically finding out x. I did a normal subtraction thing to get x equals 320. So now we know that he wanted to buy 320 pounds of nails. But we still have to check, so now we're finding out what y is, which is how much money he had at the beginning. So I substituted x, which is 320, in the second equation, and got y equals 21.65. So now you know that he had $21.65 at the beginning. So step 4 is to check. So I checked with both equations to make sure that I was correct, like for sure. And both of them were correct. So now I know that the carpenter wanted to buy 320 pounds of nails. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I used POW to create this.